Hi everyone, the Spiderman here. Well, I hope everybody's doing okay. I just want to apologise, I haven't done a video for a while. I've just been a bit busy doing other things. Now it's coming up close to Christmas. So I'm just going to be filling up all the water dishes in my scorpion enclosures. As you can see, they're all the water's evaporated. And I've got to do all these as well. So I've got my syringe there and my cup full of water. And I've noticed one of my scorpions has molted, and it's my Parabuthus velocis orange morph, my male. So let's take the enclosure off the shelf and let's take a look. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just take the molt out. There we go. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, he lost one of his legs due to a previous molt, and one of them's regenerated back, which is that one there, and the other one hasn't regenerated back for some reason. I don't know why. So hopefully in his next molt that will regenerate back. But as you know, he's a breeding project for my female that's just relaxing in her enclosure. And there is the female, everybody. Not fully grown just yet. Probably another couple of months and she'll be fully grown, and her plates on her back are starting to spread out a little bit, so she might be due a molt very soon. So the male's decided to go back into his hide, and I'll leave him for 4 to 5 days, and I'll give him a feed, just let his body harden up a little bit. So I am just going to fill up all these water dishes in my scorpion collection, and when I've done that, everybody, I'm just going to do a little update on my collection. So there we go, guys. All the water dishes are all full. Doesn't take long, probably about 10 minutes. And I put a bigger water dish for my adult female, and I filled that up as well. So yeah, looks perfectly fine, and it usually lasts probably around about 4 or 5 days, and I have to fill them up again. So while I'm here, everybody, let's do a quick update on my collection. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start off with my empty enclosure that had my Cameroon crab spider in. So hopefully I'm going to be filling this up after the new year. I can't afford it at the moment with Christmas coming up. I could put a trapdoor spider inside there, or another arboreal species. I haven't decided yet. Here is my Hirsutum, adult female. Fed her a couple of days ago. In here, I'm not too sure what the species is called. I rehoused her into a bigger enclosure, as you can see, and I forgot to put the label back on. So I'll look through my videos and have a look, see what the species is, and I'll put a label back on there. In here is my Avic Minatrix, about a 2.5 inch female. She's doing perfectly fine. I just fill the water dish up and keep the enclosure bone dry. There is my Piamernia, my Venezuelan sun tiger, 4 inch female. She's doing perfectly fine. My P Metallica, she's behind her court bark. She's doing well. Fed her yesterday a nice large black cricket. Here is my Lampropalma viasalopes, my Singapore blue. Doesn't really eat very much. She hasn't got the highest appetite in the world. She fed a couple of days ago, and that was her first meal in about 2 months. In here, with all this webbing, is my S. calceatum. She's doing well. She's probably inside her court bark, so I don't really want to disturb her. So let's start on my second shelf, guys. Now here I have my H species Columbia large form. Now she's a female, around about a 2.5 inch specimen. You can just see her just there. Now she needs a rehouse. I'll do that tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that rehousing. It's going to be an interesting video because these like to bolt out of their enclosure, so they are very, very fast. So you have to be prepared with a catch cup. Here I have my Brachypalma hamori that's got that dyskinetic syndrome. So let's just quickly take the lid off and let's show you how he's getting on. And there he is, guys. And as you can see, the abdomen's going a very dark colour. And that's a massive indication that he's going to flip over very soon. And plus I tried to give him a feed a couple of days ago, and he wasn't really interested. It was a case of just leave me alone. So with that black bald spot appearing on the abdomen, hopefully he should flip over very soon, and that dyskinetic syndrome will disappear. So hopefully in the next week or so we'll have a freshly molted tarantula. So here is that enclosure, everybody, with my sun beetle in. And the other cocoon is just there. You can see a dark spot there. It hasn't hatched yet. Unfortunately, not going to see the sun beetle because it's decided to burrow down in the substrate. My Brachypalma Amelia that I got from the BTS this year, she's doing perfectly fine. She's just inside her hide. My P. zazamai, freshly molted around about 10 days ago. And there is some leftover food. So I've got to take that out a little bit later. It's just in its hide there, doing perfectly fine. Here I have my 2 giant rainforest mantis. I gave them a feed a couple of days ago, so that's why their abdomens are a bit big. And there is the other one just there. It's doing really, really well. Here I have my hermit spider. I'll just turn the enclosure around for you guys. It's just relaxing on the leaf there. I have my 4 wolf spider slings that are all doing perfectly fine. They're getting fairly big now, probably around about the 4 to 5 mil mark. And there is the one just there, look. So they're doing perfectly fine from mum. The other one inside this tub here, can't really see it. It's probably burrowed down. They do burrow down from time to time. But I can see something moving in the enclosure there. So I'll have to investigate that a little bit later. But yeah, they're doing perfectly fine. Here is my only centipede in my collection, my Scolopendra giganti whiteleg. Now if you look at the back of the enclosure there, you can see an indentation where the soil's gone down. So I haven't seen my centipede for the last 10 days. So I'm presuming it's burrowed right down into the substrate, because there's about 5 or 6 inches of substrate there. So I'm hoping it's going to molt very, very soon. So let's go on to my 3rd shelf. Here is my 6-eyed sand spider, everybody. And she has become famous again. I had an email off a gentleman last week. He lives in Los Angeles. And a Japanese television company, they wanted to use one of my clips. And it's a very unusual kind of show that they do. So he thought that my sand spider was very unusual. So hopefully that will generate more popularity in my famous sand spider. Here's my Ceropacopus species Hattie Hattie. Doesn't really come out very much. If you see its legs, and that's all you see. Next up is my Brachypalma albiceps. She always seems to sit in that corner right next to the water dish. Now you wouldn't believe it, I actually filled that water dish up yesterday, and yeah, it keeps evaporating very, very quickly. So guys, my largest tarantula in my collection, my Therophosa apophysis, pinkfoot Goliath bird eater. You can see the bald spot's not gone dark yet, so it's going to be a while until she flips over, and she's still eating. And I soaked the substrate yesterday, and you can see it's dried out again. So that needs another soak a little bit later. So guys, there is my mature male, G. rosea, that's got that dyskinetic syndrome. And to be perfectly honest, he is getting a little bit better. So if anybody wants him for sale, he is only £10. I can only post out in the UK. So he's doing perfectly fine. There is one of my Egyptian predatory beetles, Anetha sex maculata. I've got to feed them a little bit later. So what I'll do is, guys, please stay tuned. I'll feed them a little bit later. I'll give them a nice large black cricket each. So that should be a very, very fun video. So everybody in this section is doing perfectly fine. There's my green bottle blue, just grabbing some heat there, because I have heat cables at the back. My T. psychedelicus, that's doing perfectly fine. It's just in its burrow just down there. P. lugardii, gave her a feed a couple of days ago. My G. pulchra, which is just there, that's doing perfectly fine. Probably in its hide somewhere. And my LP, There it is, just having a drink, probably a male. My Harpactira porcripes, golden and blue-legged baboon, probably at the back of her enclosure. State-legged baboon, she's always, yeah, there she is, she's just at the front of the enclosure there. My HVO Scilla, dwarf chestnut, she's doing okay. My electric blue, don't really see it that much, being a Bray Kilo Brachys species. So guys, last but not least, the bottom shelf. That enclosure there has got my M. balfouri in there. Doesn't really see it that much, she's always in her burrow. Here I have my Antrodocnus crassicorda, about a 3-inch female. She's doing perfectly fine. And last but not least, my A. geniculata, 8-inch female. She's a big girl, so let's take a quick look at her. And there she is, everybody. Got a huge abdomen. Last time I fed her was about 5 weeks ago, and I don't like to overfeed my tarantulas. As I said, she's got a massive abdomen, so I'm still waiting for it to go down a little bit. So like I said, she's an 8-inch female, absolutely huge. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, of an update on my collection. And thanks for watching, everyone.